Welcome. Emmy Award-winning entertainment TV and digital producer and AI consultant who founded Atlantic AI Consulting. With over 5,000 hours of content produced throughout her distinguished career, Charlotte serves on the board of Golden Globes, HFPA, and Greenlight Women. Her expertise spans entertainment production, artificial intelligence strategy, and branded content innovation, positioning her uniquely to guide this exploration of AI transformative impact on the entertainment industry. Please welcome Charlotte Hambrick.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the DaVinci International Film Festival. I have to say I was there opening night, and it was magical. So we're going to get started. Today we're going to explore the AI revolution, branded entertainment, and how is AI reshaping media, including the emergence of tools like AI Sora, and the pioneering work of creators like the actor Tilly Norwood, who's been pushing boundaries in the AI-driven content. The panel is a group of innovators, and we're going to get started. We're going to start with Everett. Everett is, let me get my notes straight. Okay, so Everett Swain II, founder of UXD Academy, as well as Our Table. He's also a festival sponsor. Everett is the leading voice in AI education and experience design. As founder of UXD Academy, a forward-thinking design and education platform that bridges user experience, storytelling, and innovation, giving access to AI automation and design skills through project-based learning that removes traditional barriers. Our Table. UXD Academy, AI's automation agency, provides real-world opportunities for emerging creators. Next, we have Atul Venice. Atul is the CEO of Vitrina AI, former Disney executive, serial entrepreneur, and product manager leader with extensive entertainment industry experience. As CEO of Vitrina AI, Atul leads an innovation platform empowered entertainment professionals across 60 countries with AI-powered search and recommendation solutions and streamlined global entertainment supply chains. Okay, so we also have Mecca Lee, welcome. She's a dynamic leader in branded content development and partnerships. Mecca leads global video production partnerships for Amazon Ads, previously served as head of development and partnership for React Media, formerly FBE. Her experience includes roles of Hello Sunshine and Authentic Entertainment, with expertise in cultivating relationships across digital and TV space. Then we have Archetta Menzel, founder and CEO of Up In Now, filmmaker and Stanford GSB alum. Multifaceted entrepreneur, filmmaker, strategist, bridging creative storytelling and cutting-edge technology. As a writer, director, and producer, Archetta brings a unique insight into the AI and emerging technologies in reshaping narrative structure and production workflows and entertainment. And finally, we have Dan Benamor. Did I say that right? Okay. Dan is head of podcasts at Voyage Media, the company turning screenplays and true stories into hit narrative podcasts that often evolves into film and TV projects. Dan blends Hollywood's level storytelling and smart use of AI tools, showing how sound, story, and brand can connect audiences. Welcome. Who are we going to start with here? Okay. You guys can hear me okay? Alrighty. So my first question is going to go to Everett. You're a professor, UX designer, entrepreneur. How do you balance all these roles and stay current with the vast amount of tools that are constantly being made available?
I've woven all of that into my workflow, to be honest with you. I had a day job, that's centered around design, and then in my off time, I'm teaching people, and now I'm teaching people full time. And I can also say that YouTube University allows me to stay current as well as far as with the new tools.
Okay, thank you. Atul, Vitrina AI operates across 60 countries, giving you a truly global perspective. How is AI fundamentally changing the international branded entertainment landscape, and what trends are you seeing in the different markets around the world?
Yeah, I can actually sort of answer that in 2-3 different ways. One is the fact that the first visible change that we are seeing is localization. Across the world, we are seeing AI already localize content at a much lower cost. It's actually making a lot of that content available in subs and dubs that you could not actually afford earlier. So you're now able to sort of deliver content to the regional audiences in a language that they can understand at a fraction of the cost. And that's one massive place where AI is already helping. The other aspect is that it's actually creating a host of tooling for young storytellers in places where they did not have access to a lot of either expertise or equipment or software. So we are seeing a rapid sort of emergence of a new class of storytellers who are using a lot of these new tools. Some of them which are AI tools as well. But we're sort of seeing a rapid emergence of a new class of storytellers. And then there are other places where we are sort of seeing that, whether it's animation, whether it's special effects. But I would say that the most fundamental visible change is the localization part, where a lot of content is available suddenly to a vast majority of audiences, which is making a fundamental difference to the making that content available to a much larger audience than earlier.
Thank you. Neka, from your position leading global video production partnerships at Amazon Ads, what are the brands looking for when it comes to AI-enhanced content, and how are your expectations evolving?
So, I'm no longer at Amazon, but during our time there and based on what we're seeing still, a lot of partners want to unlock video on a global scale, and it's interesting that you mentioned localization as a key component of it. So, leveraging AI for a 15-second or a 30-second spot is game-changing for a small or mid-sized brand or advertiser. They are now able to engage and reach customers in a new way to truly grow their business. And at Amazon, it helped Amazon grow their business. So it's been amazing to see how AI has unlocked opportunities creatively in what I would call a co-pilot, a companion type way. You still need a human to drive the initial idea, the strategy, but to create efficiency and scale, it was phenomenal to see how AI could do that for brands globally.
Thank you. Acheta, as both a filmmaker and an entrepreneur, you sit at the intersection of both art and technology. How is AI transforming the creative process itself, from ideation to production, and what new storytelling possibilities does it unlock for you?
That's a good question. As a filmmaker, I'm using the tools, and I have a proprietary tool that my company has developed. It's not commercially available yet. It's a pre-visualization tool, which takes you from your concept to storyboard and shortlist. And definitely, you can iterate so fast. You can give access to multiple film production crew when we are conceptualizing it. That definitely helps. And my company right now, we are an agency where we are developing ads and films. And so we've experimented that in videos and ads. And as a technologist, I think I'm excited about the possibilities, but I also see a huge gap between arts and technology at the same time. And I think the idea is to optimize your workflows, like Everett said. And that's exactly what we need to nail if we want the future to be bright. And because you have to have human in the loop, period. There is no question about that.
Good news.
Very good news. And we figured it out. You'd have to wait for the dust to settle in order to make anything out of it. Right now, there are two schools of thoughts. There's visions and there's a clash, and sometimes people are working with it. But the idea is to make technology work for you, not the other way around. So.
Thank you. Dan, Voyage Media has helped creators turn screenplays into powerful narrative podcasts. This often attracts the film and TV deals. With AI now capable in generating fully scored, voice-acted story drafts in hours, how do you see the changing creative development pipeline for branded podcasts and IP adaptation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are all probably kind of saying the same thing, which is that it's a helpful tool. There's a tipping point where you're going to lose the human authenticity. So, as an example, we have a lot of shows that we did a first season of. People are like, when is the second season coming? So, I would never be cool with having the AI write the story for the second season. I would want a human to do that. But is there a version where, for example, you know, the voice actors are involved, they license themselves to be used for it for a second season or something like that? Is something like that possible? Maybe. I think it always, kind of like what you just said, right? The human has to be there because I think the audience can sniff out the stuff that is AI. They can sense it. And it's almost that uncanny valley, like if you remember when, I think it was the Polar Express, with Tom Hanks, where the eyes looked real weird and soulless, and we were all sort of like, what the hell's going on? Yeah. And then the technology improved, right? And now they have motion capture. So motion capture, for example, with actors is a great example of that. Like Andy Serkis has done amazing performances, where it's his performance, it's his artistry, but the technology has enhanced it, right? So, you know, like graphic designers we work with, composers we work with, editors we work with, they use AI tools to help them, you know, maybe generate a piece of music, but it's still the composer's creativity, right? Or the editor might use it to improve the noise reduction on a piece of audio, but it's still him doing the sound design, the creative sound design. So it's a tool that can help you make stuff, but it's really never gonna, in my opinion, never gonna replace us, the humans, creatively making it.
Well, I'm obsessed with podcasts, so can you just spit out maybe one tool that's a favorite of yours?
So Adobe put out this thing, which is unbelievable, and it's a tool that pretty much all my editors use. So let's say that you're walking on the street and you want to grab a piece of audio. You're doing a documentary style podcast. And there's car horns and there's ambient sound and whatever. Adobe has this thing that you can just plug that piece of audio into, and it will come back, and honestly, like a decent amount of time, will sound like it was just recorded in a quiet studio, like it was recorded in here right now. And the editor can do that, right? But they would have to sort of break their neck to do it for hours. And if there's a button they can push that can do that for them, that's not eliminating their creativity. It's just making their workflow more efficient and allowing us to, you know, the volume of content that we make sure that it sort of hits the same level of quality. So that's a really helpful tool that, you know, I think is just kind of good for everybody.
What was the name of that tool?
If you just type in Adobe noise reduction, that's usually what I just type that into Google. It's free right now. At some point, they're clearly going to paywall it off because it's pretty amazing.
I'm going to come back to you while we're still in this segment. We're doing this in segments, and this is the first segment. We're going to be moving to the second segment, but I want to come back to you because you're training the next generation of AI automation builders. What fundamental shift are you seeing in how branded content is actually being produced today versus, say, 2 years ago from your UX design lens?
Branded content. To be honest with you, it's it's the tool that I'm seeing that's a bit different. So one of the tools that I would be demoing at the end is called FreePick, and it's an all-in-one studio tool, and I highly recommend creators to use it because you can leverage that to select any models you want as far as image generation and video generation. And so the cool thing is you can upload a branded logo, you give it a very short snippet, say I want to create a 30-second ad, here's the image, and boom, it is generating that. So I would say, you know, the tool itself is making branded content much faster to create, and I'm teaching people how to use those types of tools.
So I want to talk about something that you guys have probably all heard, Zora 2, which made its debut with a 1 million at entry level, which was more than ChatGPT when it dropped. So Zora and the new production reality is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to keep you in the spotlight, Everett. Okay, you're in the hot seat. Let's talk about Zora and similar text to video AI tools from an education and practical application standpoint. And what does the technology enable that wasn't possible before? So just transitioning to what you were talking about at the beginning.
Right. So, yeah, Sora 2 is amazing if you have not seen it. I think right now, Sora 2 is positioning itself to compete with TikTok and I think IG Reels, things like that. Now, on the flip side, you can leverage their API to create a workflow automation to then spit out or output a video. But I would say that, another good tool is Google VO3. That's another one. And so some of the things that I'm teaching, students as far as leveraging these tools is to, again, think about this as a tool. I say that AI is the greatest mimic that we have out here. It's not creating anything new necessarily. So if they keep that mindset in mind when they're using these tools, I think they're going to get the best outcome using them. So that's at least the fundamental principle that I am giving my students.
Archetta, the director in the room. How do you see tools like Zora impacting your creative vision or directorial choices? And does it enhance or complement the filmmaking process?
So I haven't used Zora 2 yet. I've signed up for it. But everything else, when they give me access, I'll know. But everything else looks cool on the internet. I've used several different tools like Runway, VO3, a bunch of them, Luma, AI. And actually, I just directed a sci-fi horror, 9 minutes, just to prove my point.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I discovered gaps in it. And that's exactly what I'm going to be building next, the platform that bridges live action with the generative models and what's missing in between.
So I told you she was a techie.
So that's gotten me excited. There are a lot of, so I've tried to use for all my B-rolls, right? I wanted a drone shot, I couldn't have enough, I just didn't have enough bandwidth or time or resources to get that done because it was a short and I just budgeted enough and I was able to use Google Satellite, feed that particular business park in it, take that, put it in the AI model, and there's no actors,
Wow.
but I could actually do that. But here's the catch, it's just, even with the best prompting, it wasn't giving me what I wanted as a filmmaker. Now, so there's a gap there. For branded content, I can see if, you have, itsy bitsy things here not working out, it's fine, you can still publish it, right? But when you're a filmmaker and you're so passionate, you're detail oriented, you want it that way, I'm not getting it. So there are issues, the editors worked on it for a long time. We figured out, ways to work around it, but it's not something that you could do without a team very easily. You need different expertise. So I'm just excited to see what, particularly about Zora 2, I think there's a lot of compliance issues that have come up, so we'll just have to wait and watch. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Thank you. You're still loving your drone. Okay. Atul, from a business and distribution perspective, how are AI video generation tools changing the economics of branded content production?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what our platform does. So Vitrina AI, our platform is essentially a matchmaking system for global filmmakers along to the right financiers and the right service providers and right technologies. So one of the places where we are really trying to solve the problem, at least from our perspective, is to make sure that the right storytellers and the right creators are meeting the right financing. That's one of the biggest use cases that get used, that our system gets used for. On a daily basis, our AI picks up intelligence worldwide on who's financing what type of content. It profiles those financiers, and then we help a host of early stage or even mid stage production or producers, including independents, to find the right co-production partners, commissioners, or financiers. So that's really where our AI is getting used. In some of those cases, there is a bias that the financier may have, where they want the storyteller to tell them what kind of technologies are being used to maybe either expedite the project or to scale the project to new countries and new markets where localization comes up as a case in point, or maybe even to use tooling that brings in tremendous amount of speed, efficiency, or lowering of costs.
So they're looking for more AI or less AI?
So they are seeing, so they don't really care about the AI as long as the AI is being used to either make something faster or more efficient.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. I don't want to say the word, but yeah,
I'll say it.
yes, you said it. But financiers really don't have a horse in that race. They are, essentially they just want the creator to create what's in the vision, as long as there is a business plan to it and that it's going to return back their capital. But they do now want to hear back from the production, from the producers, on whether they've thought about the AI piece, whether they're thinking about it, whether they're open to it, whether if a solution presented itself that could reduce cost or make something go faster, would they be open to considering it?
So that's pretty much the pitch.
That's,
When you're looking for money.
That is one of the sections in the pitch now. That is an expectation from some of the financiers. Or some of the commissioners.
Okay, thanks. Neka, what's the brand perspective on AI generation content? Are your partners embracing the technology? What concerns do they have? What are they stuck on?
I think it's a mixed bag. Internally, a lot of CMOs are struggling with embracing AI in their workflows. They see the benefits, they see the increased output, the efficiency, but getting their entire staffs on board with learning this new technology that some say could replace them is a bit challenging. But beyond that, they are seeing it being quite turnkey for simple creative executions. And when I say simple, I mean, okay, we need high volume 15-second spots. We need high volume display ads across these different websites. They are still very passionate though about working with unique directors and creatives who have a POV, who are tapped into culture. AI can definitely help in terms of amplifying and creating efficiency around anything that we as humans have already created, for sure. Coming up with something completely new requires a human input. AI can't do that, and I'm in no way, shape, or form threatened by that, and I'm very excited to see so many CMOs say there is definitely a place for AI in terms of productivity and our optimization and our workforce, but by no means will it be replacing true creatives.
Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna move into the segment 3, where we're gonna look at authenticity, ethics, and quality, consent, likeness, and safety. I'm gonna start with you, Dan. As AI voices become indistinguishably from human actors, what's the ethical and creative policy at Voyage? And when it comes to voice cloning or AI narration, especially for branded podcasts that rely on authenticity and trust?
Yeah, we don't use it at all. Spotify actually doesn't let you. I mean, we wouldn't anyway, but Spotify has a thing where it's like if the AI is doing any, if an AI voice is speaking in it, they would flag it and say we won't let you monetize it. I don't know if that's changing, but we wouldn't have done it anyway, but that was a reason that I have to actually proactively tell people, like people that do stuff for me. If there's something where you're like, oh, we forgot to get this one voice, let me grab it with an AI, like don't do that because Spotify may flag it and then we'll be able to monetize it.
Well, that's interesting, because that was my follow-up question, is how do you handle disclosure and transparency with the brand?
Yeah, I mean, we just never use it, right? I mean, we use it as a production tool. It helps with efficiency with different things, but we don't use any AI voices in any of our
But
stuff.
when you get your pitches or script, how do you determine how much of it is AI, and how do you credit it if it is involved in the
Well,
script?
we've never used AI in a script ever.
How do you know?
Oh, how do we know?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that because what we do is really primarily creative, right? I mean, I guess the company as a general is a brand, but I don't know any writer who's like excited to use the AI to do the actual writing. I think as a research tool, it can be incredibly helpful. But to do the actual writing, if you're a writer, I just don't see anybody who's excited to do that.
Thanks. That's good to know. Next, we're still talking about this ethics issue. There's ongoing debate about disclosure and transparency when using AI. From a partnership perspective, what conversations are you having about authenticity in AI enhanced branded content? What do you say?
Yeah, authenticity is incredibly important. I think most creatives, especially in the branded space and the corporate sphere, acknowledge that there's use of AI, and hopefully people are getting more comfortable with acknowledging that and disclosing that, because once again, if we're talking about creating efficiency for creatives, helping them do their best work better and faster and with less of a headache, yes, all for it. There are concerns, I would say, high level of, okay, how far are we gonna take this new technology? It's on everyone's lap. You know, with the tellies and the Soras and copyright infringement and the opting in, the opting out, all of that is definitely still top of mind. But for most of the partners that I'm working with, there's an acknowledgement of, hey, it's okay to use it, but we really want to understand how it's being utilized on all sides, so that there can be an authentic dialogue, which I think is true of any legitimate partnership.
Go ahead, sorry.
So I wanted to add something to that. So one of the things that when we're building or designing AI experiences, that we do want to disclose that this was created by an AI. We've seen it before when we're using ChatGPT or Claude. Hey, double check these answers at the bottom. For an example, a client of mine, we built an automated email management system. They told me, hey, I don't want to read emails ever again. Like, all right, cool. So we have a workflow using a tool called InnateIn that captures the incoming email, labels it, and then responds in the tone of voice of the content creator. However, at the end, I make sure I sign off by saying this is an AI assistant. So that way, the receiver of the email understands and they start to build that trust with that. And it's definitely an ethical AI design practice that I'm sure most of us are aware of. But those are some of the things that we do to build trust with AI.
And where does that appear exactly?
In the email, exactly.
At
So at the bottom, yeah.
The bottom of the email?
Correct.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Archetta, how do you distinguish and how far to go in your creativity?
in my creativity.
Yes.
The tools that I build are mostly agentic framework that we're developing now, and AI assistant, very well says AI assistant. For script purposes, obviously we use it, or my team uses it mostly for brainstorming, and that's it. I mean, most writers that I know of are writing their own scripts still, and that's still true. I think for commercials and small ads, it's all right because, all these tools can give you real fast turnover. And if you want to go in production really fast, and it's a generic idea anyway, you add some bits of creativity here and there, and your budget is low, okay to do that, right? Because it's serving your business purpose, marketing purpose. But when we're talking about fiction, nonfiction of a larger scale, which you want to be able to monetize, then the story is totally different. So I'm on the other side, where partners are, we have clients who are paying us money, right, to give them something original. So I'm not going to use ChatGPT to give them a script that they could have done themselves, right? So I think, we have to be very hyper-focused on what is your purpose? What are you doing with it? So I distinguish between that when, each line of thing that I do.
Understood, understood. Atul, since your company is, global, what are you seeing with the cultural differences and expectation with authenticity?
A lot of the standards in authenticity are not common, or they're not very well understood in all cultures. And I think that's where we are seeing very distinct differences. I'll give you a couple of examples. If you typically look at certain markets which are very sort of already in gaming, for instance, take Korea or Japan as a market. They are already sort of at the cutting edge of a lot of that technology that was being used for them to sort of create a host of these virtual worlds at scale, and you have both creators as well as users who are at a very different level. Their understanding of, let's say, ethics and authenticity are very different. Vis-a-vis, let's say, let's take European markets, which have very high degree of factual and unscripted content that dominate their storytelling. So we are seeing, cultural differences from that perspective. So when you go to Europe, for instance, which has such a high consumption and production of unscripted or factual documentaries, right? You can see that their use of AI is much lesser today. But if you look at some of the markets which are very pro-gaming, right? You can just see that their adaptability and their comfort levels and their barriers to a host of other questions are much lower, and that they are able to sort of go into AI tools much faster from just culturally how they are sort of oriented. So we are seeing some of those aspects play out very clearly.
So let's just look at the different continents. What would you say percentage-wise is where they are in comparison to where we are here in America with AI technology?
So absolutely, China, Japan, Korea. China, Korea are very, very high in AI usage already. The tooling that we are seeing is very sophisticated. It's very nuanced in some of the storytelling styles that they have. In some case, I'll give you a couple of examples, right? There's one category that everybody's talking about, including this town, is microdramas and vertical videos. Microdramas and micro-series, and vertical videos which are essentially consumed on mobile. One of the companies, Real Short, just declared that their July revenue was 40 million. So they are currently averaging at $500 million for this year. And what have they done is these are 1 minute, 1.5 minute videos. There is, very low cost sort of production standards, but there is a fair amount of
You said
AI.
I'm sorry, you said 1 minute?
1 minute episode, a 1 minute episode, and they made $40 million through those in the month of July, averaging at about $500 million. And that's just one of the companies, and there are several companies that are now in that space, right? This is a blend of storytelling as well as gamification, as well as use of AI at a very, very low cost. Each episode is actually created at a very low cost. The question here is that the way that they saw that opportunity and the way they created that entire business for micro series and micro dramas was because they were actually experimenting with both technology, content, creative storytelling. I mean, when you have a 1 minute episode or a 90-second episode, you have a cliffhanger every 60 seconds. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, right? And for them to sort of, create that, I run a podcast myself, not as big as yours, but essentially, I was actually sort of interviewing someone who's actually from that world. And they said that they've just moved into a 100,000 square feet facility in Burbank. And they said every corner is a set, every corner in their office. There is a court, one corner is the courthouse, another corner is the prison, the third corner is the kitchen, the fourth corner, right? Even their parking lot is not spared. So there is one part of the parking lot that looks like it's the Hilton that you're driving into. Another one looks like the mansion. And it's just vertical videos, right? In a mobile screen. So you don't need a lot of real estate to get the location. But there is that's creativity, technology, but also a very successful business. But again, the reason why that entire micro series and micro dramas vertical has emerged from China is because they have actually pushed both technology, storytelling, and creativity into a different zone than, let's say, Europe or the US, as an example.
Who's your favorite podcaster?
Me personally?
Yep.
Probably Bill Simmons.
Who's that?
Bill Simmons. If anybody listens to podcasts, there's a decent chance you've heard of Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons sold The Ringer to Spotify, I think, for $200 million. So he has a whole. But it's all.
Do you get a cut of that
No.
when they go big like that?
I'm not involved in that at all, but I wish I could get a cut of that. But it's interesting. He's actually a great example of somebody who the authenticity of his voice has not changed at all. His entire lifespan, and so the audience has continued to go with him, and that's what's made him successful. So it's kind of interesting.
So I have the same question for all of you. And this is the future and opportunities. We're sitting here, it's October 2025. Give us one bold prediction or piece of advice for entertainment professionals.
Move to YouTube. YouTube, I found an interesting stat. Since 2021, they have paid their creators $100 billion. $100 billion, 4 years. Move to YouTube. Move your platform to YouTube. Tell your stories there. Monetize there. I think that, and I personally think a lot of studios are going to be doing that too. That's my bold prediction.
How about you, Atul?
So look, again, we are a supply chain company. For us, we are all about how the content is created and how the content is monetized. And my key prediction really, as we're seeing this entire industry unfold, is that finally we will get to just those two basic truths. One is who created the content, and then who monetized the content. How it was created, where was it created, was it sort of, what was it created in a tax incentivized country? Or was it created in Hollywood? Was it created in Canada? I mean, a lot of these things will just be facts about how that content was created, the how part. But there are only two truths in our industry. One is who birthed the content, who's the creator of the content, and the second aspect is who monetized it. And everything else could be interchangeable. That's the world that we are in at this point.
I would say that the storytellers and creators who are meeting audiences where they are and not where you want them to be are going to do gangbusters over the next 50 years. Currently, audiences are scrolling, they're streaming, they're searching, and they are shopping. They are predictably unpredictable, and we need to adjust for this new behavior. We're all doing it ourselves too, but we haven't taken a moment as storytellers and filmmakers to look back at how, yes, people still love the experience of going to the theater, and that magic will never be lost. But they're also engaging in a different way. If you take K-pop Demon Hunters, for example. I told myself I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I have to now. Okay, it releases on Netflix. Yippee, it's amazing. What does Netflix do? They release it in theaters after the fact. And the only change that they make is that it's a sing-along version. They made it a moment. They made going to the movie theater an event for a new generation of what I hope will be movie lovers. And so we all just need to get more creative, in my opinion, not just about the stories that we're telling, but how we tell them and how we connect with our audiences. The folks who can figure that out, who can crack that code, and who are paying attention, not just to the story, but who they're telling that story for and how they consume content, gonna be just fine.
So you see a more immersive future for AI in general?
Absolutely. And once again, with us at the center, because trust me, I've played with every LLM you could think of, it's not better than me. It's not. It's not better than you. It's not. If you really take it to the mat, it's not. We're good, y'all. But it is a tool that can create efficiency, that can help us hone in on our crafts and get these stories out and connect more quickly.
Thank you.
I'd like to piggyback on that because that's kind of where I was going as well. And I totally agree. I think authenticity is going to be key because that's what AI doesn't have. And I think human beings have it in heaps of. So stick to your story. I think that's the bold prediction for me is I think theater is going to come back. And I think other than I were just chatting about it, I think stand-up comedy, theater, people are going to, it all depends in the next few years how the cognitive acceptance of this thing happens. It's very hard to tell where it's going to shift. It's going to be immersive for sure. It's going to change and it's going to be a shapeshifter economy for sure. But I think authentic storytelling and be connected to the tools and know where your strengths are and be confident about it. I think that's the bold prediction is that for me, the theater is going to make a comeback. People are going to be sick and tired of watching AI movies if it takes over. Right, people would want to watch people.
I agree.
I think that quality over quantity still is gonna matter. I think we already have too much stuff, and the AI is actually gonna help us make way more stuff, and we're all gonna be just exhausted of watching. I mean, even now, after Sora came out, I don't know if you guys are on TikTok seeing all those videos, but it's like Queen Elizabeth playing for the Lakers, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, it is funny, but it's a little bit like junk food, right? It's a gimmick. And if we look at the movies that did great this year, what Warner Brothers did this year is so cool. Because basically, DeLuca and Abdi, they made this big bet on filmmakers. And everybody thought they were getting fired. And we all thought, I personally thought, even some movies like, this seems a little weird. I don't know if this thing works. And all those movies are awesome, right? Sinners was awesome. Weapons was awesome. One Dolph Miller was awesome. And so I really believe that quality is gonna matter even more over quantity.
Okay, this is my last question, and then we're gonna let you guys ask some questions. Where were you when you first connected with the word artificial intelligence, AI? And you cannot say Spielberg, okay? I'm sorry. So just quickly, like, where were you when that light bulb went off and you said, okay, I'm gonna deal with this? Start with you.
ChatGPT for me in 2022. When I saw ChatGPT get released, I said, oh shit, this is where things are going. And I said, okay, I need to get ahead of this. So I taught myself everything I could, started building things, because I think that is the best thing that you need to do, is to build stuff, is to try it and use it. And I completely agree. To me, AI is going to get you 80–85% of the way there. It's the human element that's going to carry you across the finish line. So yeah, it was ChatGPT 2022. That's where the light bulb went off for me.
Okay. How about you, Atul?
So I'll give a quick sort of story to my discovery of AI. So when the whole Vitrina journey started for us 5 years ago, the problem statement was simple. The problem statement was, hey, if we are looking for the best filmmakers to be matched with the best financiers, and the best content to be matched with the best sort of crew and cast and so on and so forth. So we're trying to sort of create this matchmaking within the entertainment supply chain. And the insight was simple that the best story could be a Brazilian story, but the best person who could tell that story could be Japanese. But the financier could be sitting in Hollywood, and then this could actually be a global play, right? So how do you do a matchmaking between different industries, in entertainment? We started on that path, and very quickly we realized that the kind of data that we would require to build a platform that was capable of this sort of matchmaking globally within the entertainment sector, you would have to have AI. That you couldn't actually have, you couldn't solve this problem with data sets that were at the time very fragmented and all over the planet. So that's where AI actually came in.
So it was about need for you.
For us, it was an absolute need. We had to solve a problem that had a scale that you couldn't throw enough people at the problem to solve it. You had to use a fair amount of compute and AI to solve that problem.
Thanks for sharing.
My first real encounter was I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher, and he had some expert on who was saying there's this new technology out there, and you can ask it questions, and he asked it to write a play, a Shakespearean play, but in 2022 or whatever, and it spewed it out, and this expert, who I hate that I can't remember his name, was freaked out about it. And I was like, what is this ChatGPT thing? So I decided to sign on and check it out, purely because I was like, this is not all that. This is not all that. I don't trust that it's all that. Let me ask it some questions. So it was a game. It was very gamified for me. Let me ask it the craziest thing possible, which is the way I think we all should approach it. Periodically, ask it crazy stuff and see what it does. It'll be a chuckle at minimum, but it'll also remind you of its limitations, because I don't want people to get caught up in, oh, what it could be is not there. It's just not.
It hallucinates.
It absolutely hallucinates, and I called it out too. I talked to it like it's a homegirl, anyway. But that was really my first foray. I wasn't threatened by it. I wasn't afraid. I jumped in and said, I want to see what this new technology can do. And so I distinctly remember that, because I was like, this expert is saying it can do all these things. Like, I don't think it can. So.
I want to play with your LLM that's trained.
Oh, I have trained agents. I've played with all kinds of things. It's fun.
So in 2019, summer, I was sitting at a cushion corporate job, working for an engineering department, and I ran 3 teams: digital transformation, content strategy, tech comm. And I was reading some sort of a report which said that professors around the country in the US who were doing some sort of research and on essays, and artificial intelligence was brought up. And set A and set B, each class was set into 2 parts, and every time they gave an essay written by AI, the students were asked to edit it. Immediately, in 2002, everybody was able to tell, like, who the hell wrote this? This is off. Every few years it got better and better. And I can't remember where this article was published, but it was an amazing article, way ahead of its time, trying to tell people this is coming. And in 2016, finally, there was a professor, I can't remember where, somewhere in East Coast, and reported back that 75% of the students were not able to tell it's AI. That's when I knew I had to resign. I actually
Start your own
to be a
business.
full-time filmmaker. So I had other agenda, but I did think that this is going to be tricky now, coming from writing background, in corporate world. And I remember coming home and thinking, wow, something new is going to happen to this world. And you know what? It did. And when I was looking for, just like Atul mentioned, then I became an entrepreneur, long journey, how I got there. But when I did get there and I was planning on designing this product, I was thinking of all the algorithms and data sets, and Gen AI dropped. So I wasn't looking to use Gen AI. Gen AI actually solved the challenge.
Solves the challenge.
I mean, for me, I'm just a very curious person. So once, a couple of years ago, obviously, once I heard about this thing, I'm just one who loves watching a good documentary. Like anything in the world that you're interested in, you can ask it, and it will come back with information that you wouldn't really be able to gather on your own the same way. If you just type something into Google, it's not the same thing. Like it will curate for you and give you a whole sort of, so as an educational tool, I think it's kind of amazing. And that's a really positive use of it, I think.
So, the prompting. The prompting, it sounds like it's extremely important. Okay, what an impressive panel we have here today. Can you guys all give them an applause? I'm completely blown away by each and every one of you, but I need to give an opportunity to the audience. All right, Thea, you can help me here? I'm gonna use my mic. You guys will take over. Okay. There you are. Any questions?
So I had a question. I've been hesitant towards AI. Like a lot of people, you get kind of concerned that you're getting into this industry that you love, that you're passionate about. Technology comes in, and at that point then potentially starts taking some jobs away. So it's really interesting kind of listening to a lot of the points that y'all are making about the human input versus the AI input, and using it as tools, which in some of the films using it for like selection tools, noise reduction, motion tracking, rotoscoping, stuff like that. It's really powerful. Right now, we're still kind of in the early stages of it, so the human input is still going to be noticeably better depending on how much the content that you're making, in the sense of people being able to detect when they're watching content that is maybe solely AI made. But in the sense of what that looks like in the future as technology advances and improves, AI will also improve. And then does the AI input actually start to mirror the human input? And my question would be, in the sense of companies that are adopting this, how do y'all kind of like regulate that, or is there that kind of thought going on in the background, in the sense of, I know that there's issues with consent and licensing, but how do you kind of like regulate that going forward and just try to kind of protect that human input while also being able to advance AI to make us more efficient, more productive, and being able to be more creative in different ways.
Is that directed to anybody specific?
Just to the panel, sorry, to anybody.
Anyone
I
can
can-
take that.
Yeah, I can take it to start. I would say, for me, because of the point that you're hitting on, it's even more reason for us to stay engaged in this conversation. If we don't keep the human element involved intentionally and deliberately, it could get weird. I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about it too, we all have. I think, to my points earlier though, I don't know how the human brain works. I just know it's magical. And we create some phenomenal things. And we don't know how to replicate the way that we create things. So I feel that, yes, AI will get that, absolutely. But I also think, to your point as well, it might just be generating junk food. And we're gonna get tired of that. We're gonna want something that feels more authentic, that feels more human and not generated by technology. So I think it's one, staying engaged in the conversation and keeping up with the technology as it evolves and grows and making sure we're a part of that conversation. And then two, keep innovating and keep creating on your own too. Let it help you as a tool, but you are the storytellers, you are the creatives that other people want to hear and see from. I think that's how we handle it.
I think I agree. I think it's a mindset shift too. We have to stop, be careful when I say this. I do not want to have like a victim mindset when we're talking about AI at all. We should be making AI work for us. So it's a mindset shift. I am the creator. I just need help executing. AI is my execution partner. So yes, it will get better, and it's getting better weekly at this rate right now. But it's a mindset shift. You are in control. Leverage it. I know plenty of designers that are avoiding using AI, which is beyond me at this point, because especially if I have a very tight deadline, I'm going to be racking my brain trying to meet that deadline when I could just employ AI to help me very fast. So I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you keep that mindset of, oh, I'm going to be replaced. Now, I think that companies are doing a poor job of trying to, kind of alleviate that fear of their employees. They are not thinking as AI as being a tool for my employees. They are thinking about their bottom line for the most part. But AI is your advantage. I think the cream will rise to the top. I think it's leveled the playing field a lot, and the best will use it and make the best content. But I don't think AI is going to surpass us in terms of creating the best content. I think it's just going to get really good.
When VO3 came out, there was a guy who was doing videos, it's two stormtroopers, and he just puts them in different real-world locations and does like a 30-second funny interaction with them, or something that's going on in the news or something like that. And that's totally that guy's creativity to come up with that, right? The AI tool allowed him to create this like insanely good-looking video,
Right.
but it's the AI would never come up with that bit, that comedic bit. It just would never even have occurred to the AI. So maybe that's an opportunity for that guy, that creator, to build his brand, get other opportunities, and he's using it as a tool to execute his vision.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would like to add to that from the perspective of being the entrepreneur, not the user, of when I'm designing my products and what my narrative is to my company is I will have an ethics and compliance team. I will absolutely have it, and I'll make sure that the product that I build, data privacy is a thing, where is the data coming from, where is it going, how are we following the act, are we following the compliance, or whatever this company decides to do. I will honor it, and from how this is all going to evolve, we do not know, but that should not stop us from using AI.
One thing to add also to this is that AI is not one thing. AI today is like the the internet, it's like money, it's like water, right? It just is around us, whether it was the Uber that you ordered to sort of travel here, if you ordered something on shopping or e-commerce, AI is driving all of these aspects, right? It's driving today the internet, it's driving commerce, it's driving airlines, and just every industry that one can think about. So there are specific aspects that AI can really help in. Like for instance, take our instance, right? At Vitrina, we are using AI to make a host of financing options faster for producers. We're trying to sort of get producers to meet the right financial capital faster using AI and predict.
What's faster, like 2 weeks, a week? I mean, if it's a
So
match,
it could be, so the
like
moment,
Match.com.
it's Match.com. Yeah, it's actually that's a good analogy because essentially you can actually sort of upload details about a particular project, and it'll actually say that these are the best 100 people globally who are most likely to finance this project. And it'll give you reasons saying that because they've recently financed something, or they're looking for this, or they publicly stated that they are looking for this. So AI is so many different things. You can actually sort of use it for productivity. You can use it as an aid to enhance creativity. You can use it to for budgeting purposes. You can do it for a host of other elements. So I think to take a big fat brush and paint all AI as evil would be a mistake. There are some aspects where AI actually gets in this very, very gray zone of ethics, which we've discussed today, and those are aspects that as long as folks are very clear about their use and their policies relating to that, the world, whether it's Spotify, the example that you gave about Spotify not allowing you to use AI voices, there will be a host of new ethics that will develop.
YouTube,
Even YouTube, right?
they won't let you monetize if it's AI.
That's right. There you go.
A certain percentage of the video is built.
Built, yeah, so they have laid down rules as well.
I think but the point really being that you can't use an evil fat brush to paint all of AI as evil. I think there are some aspects that are actually helping creativity, productivity, efficiency, budgeting, and speed.
Is there another question? Another questions?
Hi, this is amazing. Thank you to everyone on the panel and DaVinci Film Festival for putting this together. So I'm a director. I use AI here and there, but I'm just kind of dipping my toe into the water. And so I was trying to get just a list of the AI tools you all have been talking about today. And I'm wondering if I've missed anything on my list. My list right now is Adobe Noise Reduction Tool, Zora or Sora, I'm not even sure if it's a Z or an S.
Sora.
With a
Sora 2, S.
Z.
No,
Zora.
S.
S2, great, thank you. Google VO3, Luma AI, Google Satellite. Those are the only ones I clocked, but if there's anything else that's important, I would.
What's funny about it is if you go to type in chatgpt.com and ask it that question, it will give you every possible one that exists in the world in 2 seconds.
Literally.
Exactly the conversation we're having right now.
Excellent, I will do that.
And if you're looking for financing for a project, then Vitrina AI.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well,
Regina AI?
Vitrina.
I
Sorry.
can give you a few more,
Yeah,
just to add
please.
to your list.
Yeah, thanks.
Since you're so sincere about it. Higgsfield.
Hicksfield,
And then we talked about
Hick.
Freepik, which kind of.
Freepik,
gives you the-
yeah.
That's very good. Kling, Kriya. My God, there's so many.
It's a lot.
Jesus, I've wasted so much money on those. Don't even ask. Just make sure that you use the free version first, because very soon you'll run out of credits, and then you'll end up paying like many tools. So be very selective. Read the review before you go in. Halo.
Is that Halo or who?
Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't even know how you pronounce it, but
Yeah.
Hialou, right?
Yep, you
That's
got
very
it.
good. And Flux.
PLU, sorry, Flux, P-L-U.
Flux, F-L-U-X.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. And I will try GPT too as well. And I have lots of other questions, but I'm passing the mic.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and as you guys can see, I have an accent, so I'm an actress, I'm from Brazil. And one of the interests for me are to be in this panel today is knowing more like how is my job going to be in the future? Am I going to still have a job? Because I think that's a big question for actors that, are starting in the United States right now. And I think it's a big fear. So it was very nice for me to hear you guys talking, how you guys going to like still using real actors and just use the technology to make like production and directing and another like parts of the job easier when you're like putting a movie together. So I think like a question that still remains is like, do you guys kind of like, what is kind of like the noise, like the talking like that you see like with another actors and when you guys are doing like productions, they're more like AI based, like on the future of it, like because as far as I understood, is like you guys see a future where we can combine. It's going to be acting and AI together, but do you see a future too that is going to be like more AI than acting, or no? How you see that?
Hi, how are you? So SAG-AFTRA has been obviously tracking this nonstop. Okay. And they have guidelines as far as acting. Are you an actress?
Yes.
Okay. So there are a lot of tools that actors are using themselves for memorization and et cetera, and coaching and dialogue expertise and so forth. I think it's going to be a situation that Dan brought up where he said that actors are going to license their voices. I think Gwyneth Paltrow's already done that.
Yes, she has.
And so they can sit at home or sit on a beach or go on a safari and still make money. As far as, just breaking into the market, into the industry, I think that there are a lot of tools that could help you, even with your demo tapes. I mean, there are tools that do the slate before, the slate after, that will coach you. So, I mean, that's what I would say, to just, keep going at it, because actors are gonna always be needed. Now, background, that's a whole nother issue. I mean, they've been layering that for years. I mean, but it's just getting better and better. So extras, there may be some issues there, but overall acting, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would like to add to that, having just directed, and I think all this dust will settle. Real time, to answer your question, the film production, what's going on right now is that live action is still a thing, and it dominates the industry. There's barely any serious monetized AI shows out there other than Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, which I've seen and some here and there. So actors are very much in the game.
And Megan 2.0 did not do great.
I think you should feel super reassured by the fact that Variety put out this article, which we all saw, right, about the AI actress.
Yeah.
And they tried to put a headline as if people were actually interested.
Tilly Norwood. Right.
Yeah.
And everybody in the industry at the same time was like, this is not true, this is complete bullshit, we all know that. And then the next day, the article was like, industry blowback to AI. And it's like, of course. So I think that the fact that the reaction was immediate and so negative is pretty reassuring for the future of like humanity and acting also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your insights today. I have a question, or I'd love your opinion on something, and it's going to frame it out a little bit more. Because, of course, the entertainment industry has had a storied history with accepting new things, right? From the talkies to Technicolor to... So my question kind of is for you, do you think this is just the next iteration of that, or is AI something different?
Great question. I mean, remember when 3D came out? And it was like, oh man, every movie's gonna be in 3D. And every movie that comes out, it's gonna be, there's the 3D version, you pay extra $2, you go see a 3D version, and we thought that was gonna be like that forever. Now there's no, go to the movie theater, is there a 3D release? There's not, right? It just kind of quietly went away. So it's a really interesting question. I think it's unlikely that's gonna be the case with this. There's just some strikes which is unlikely, but it's not an impossible thought, you know, so that's an interesting question.
This is more on the level, in my opinion, as www dot. Sorry. We're gonna
That's what it
go
is.
here. This is gonna have to be the last question because we have a treat, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
my,
demonstration, so this will be the last question.
my question actually circles back to the fear of losing jobs, and it keeps coming up. A lot of people bring that up. So my question is actually for UXD Academy and Everett. I know you have programs helping people get hired and training, and how do you see UXD Academy helping, alleviating the fear of losing jobs through your programs? I was just curious.
Teaching you how to use the tool, teaching you how to leverage it. That's literally my focus, is saying, hey, would you rather do nothing and be afraid? Or would you rather say, I'm gonna take a chance and learn this and put myself in the top 10%? That's the approach I take. And part of the reason why I take that approach is because, I mean, look, as a black man here, I gotta do a lot to overcome, right? So I'm already thinking about that. So I don't think in terms of, oh my God, my job's gonna be lost. No, I'm thinking about, how can I be the one that people are calling me? And so I take that approach when I'm teaching people of all creeds and colors. You need to use this tool. I'm gonna show you how to use it. And the possibilities of where this could take you comes from your creativity. But showing you how to use the tool and not have that woe is me victim mindset. Let's attack this. That's my approach.
Thank you all for your participation. Hopefully this was of value to you. You know, there's a saying out there, I'm sure you all have heard it, that, you know, AI is not gonna replace you. It's gonna be somebody that knows AI and is comfortable with it. So, so we're gonna turn this over to you for a demonstration and a slight presentation. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I've seen parts of it, and it is incredible. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
All right. So this panel was so great. Some of my talking points have already been said, so. But welcome and thank you all for having me and joining today's workshop, AI for Filmmakers. And we're gonna talk about some of the tools that can save time and our creativity. So I got a slide just for you, okay? So today is about unlocking clarity and confidence around using AI in your creative process, okay? So I'm gonna talk about who the F I am, okay? Why filmmakers are turning to AI, or why you should if you haven't, and what AI can and can't do, some tools you should know, and then I'll get into a little bit of a demo. Now I have a limited time. I was gonna demo 3 tools, but condense it down to 2 really quickly, okay? So my name is Everett, and I do 2 things. Okay, I solve problems by designing and building experiences with AI, and I teach career switchers how to do the same professionally without a degree. okay? And I'm able to do those things as the founder of UXD Academy and Our Table, where UXD Academy is an online experience design education platform that creates job-ready corporate and freelance AI experience designers and automation engineers, okay? Our Table is an AI experience agency built inside of UXD Academy, and it serves as an invite-only apprenticeship program with UXD Academy for career switchers to gain real-world experience. One of the reasons why I created Our Table is because I spoke to a lot of college graduates and even just career switchers in general who cannot find a job. And so what I decided to do was to say, okay, let me go grab clients from small and medium-sized businesses, bring that into the school, and I let my apprentices work on that. So they're getting real-world client work that they can put on their portfolio, and they now no longer have to lie about their case studies, okay? And UXD Academy and Our Table are my proof that people 13 and older can apply design theory with industry best practices to create products, service, and systems, again, all without a degree. Bonus, I was born a Laker and I grew up a Raven, okay? There you go. All right. AI is here. We're fully in the AI era right now, okay? But I want to let you all know that AI isn't here to replace storytellers. It's here to help you keep telling better stories faster. These are among some of the few challenges that filmmakers, editors, and producers having as far as shrinking budgets, tighter deadlines, but we have the ability now to generate content, more content, faster and with a smaller team, okay? AI is about time-saving, clarity-building, stress-reducing tool set built for this new reality, okay? As a filmmaker, your job is to tell a story, not to spend your day wrestling with inboxes, rescheduling shoots, or even tagging B-roll, okay? Again, AI isn't here to replace your creativity. It's here to reduce friction, spark ideas, and speed up your workflow. You're still the storyteller. AI just helps you write and deliver the story faster. So, I've identified 6 key areas where AI has a huge impact on TV and film, okay? In the past, scheduling was done often by spreadsheets or handled by spreadsheets. Well, now we could build an AI calendar agent that can handle all of that automatedly, okay? Also with pre-visualization, previously sketches. Well, now we have video generation. We talked about VO3, talked about Sora 2. We have these things at our disposal now, especially with script writing. Now, we all heard real script writers are primarily going to use AI to help with their brainstorming. They're still going to write the script. However, you now have an LLM co-writer or a co-pilot that can help you with this now. As far as editing, very much a painstaking process. I know I was editing movies using a combination of iMovie, Premiere, and After Effects, okay? But now we have AI assistants that can help you, and one of the tools I'm going to show you today will demonstrate just that. As well as marketing, again, heavily relied on us, but now we have platforms that can automatically generate social clips, captions, things of that nature. And finally, when it comes to audience optimization, we used to have to rely on statistics that come after the fact. But now, with AI, we can have real-time sentiment analysis, understand what the audience is thinking about our productions. So, AI can help with the pre-production phase, helping with scripting, drafting, rewrites, casting communication, and budgeting. A tool actually mentioned budgeting as well. From a production standpoint, we could build a workflow that helps with on-set communication, daily scheduling agents, and real-time crew messaging. From a post-production standpoint, again, we could help with transcription, shot logging, editing suggestions, as well as color and audio matching. And then finally, with marketing and distribution, we talked about the live sentiment analysis. We can now deliver our trailers in multiple languages, and again, auto captioning and clips. So, some of these tools, I highly recommend you all take screenshots, pictures, whatever you need. but I'm going to talk about 9 specifically. Okay, so the first, we all have heard these on the panel, Google VO3. This is a Google product. You're going to access this going to Gemini. Okay, so you go to gemini.google.com. When you want to generate a video, you're using VO3. When you want to generate an image, you're going to be using Nano Banana. Okay, so that's their image generation and editing model. Okay, the second one, Topaz Labs. This one is an image and video finishing and really popular for an upscaler. So if you have a video that's at 720p and you want to create it in 4K, you can upload that to Topaz Labs and it will upscale it to a 4K video for you. Okay. The third one, Runway, it's also a video generation and editing model. It's way more robust, I would say, than VO3 right now. But again, everyone is making updates weekly, monthly. Now these next 2 here, these are my personal favorites, okay? So the first one is VoiceFlow. I think personally, VoiceFlow is the best AI agent builder on the market, okay? And I'm thinking of it from someone who actually is building these things. They have the best UI, they have the best user experience, in my personal opinion. I think from an enterprise standpoint, there is Core AI. There's a bunch of other ones as well, but to me, VoiceFlow is the best AI agent builder. And the best way that I explain what an AI agent is, if I had to strip it down, it's a fancy chatbot that does things because I give it the ability to do so. I give it tools to act. So this is the best, in my opinion, AI agent builder, VoiceFlow. They also have a really good freemium model as well. So they allow you to build 2 agents and with almost no feature lock. So that means they are getting almost the exact same features as someone who paid for the Pro plan. Now there's other advantages I would give to the paid Pro plan, but as I think Archetta, am I pronouncing that right? That's okay. Archetta mentioned, use the free version first and then scale up. The next one, N8N. Now if any of y'all have heard of Zapier, Make.com, N8N is in that field, in that realm. However, N8N, I would classify it as a low-code automation tool. And it's low-code, I tell people, if you do not know code, you can still leverage the platform. You're going to be fine. However, if you do know code, you're going to be able to push that product to its limits. And N8N is a really good workflow automation tool that also has native AI agent capability inside of it. So it's a blend of what VoiceFlow does, mixing it with Zapier and Make.com. The next one is also a tool by Google. Google is, I'm telling y'all, Google is killing it. They have a tool called Flow, and it's a video and scene generation tool. So effectively, you can create a video, but what the best thing about Flow does, you could stitch images as well as videos together, and you could create scenes. So effectively, you could create an 8-second clip in VO3. You take that clip, put it in Flow, and say, all right, after this clip ends, I want this to happen. And you could build a scene with Flow. The next one, which is the tool that I'm going to demo today, is Descript. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. You're going to see it's a whole host of suites of tools inside of it. But this is a video and audio editing tool. And Dan, you probably have heard about this. You have it, there you go. So you can edit podcasts as well as videos. FreePick, I mentioned that during the talk. It's the ultimate AI creative suite. It, in a sense, it's similar to Descript, as in it has a whole host of tools. But the cool thing with FreePick, you could select different models. So let's say I want to create an image about X, okay? Well, what model do you want to use to create that? Do you want to use Sora 2? Do you want to do Nano Banana? What do you want to use? Okay, you could select that. Now, as you'll see, because this is the other tool I'm going to demo, you could see that there's a cost associated with the models that you choose, okay? So all of these things work on credits. So you want to be very, very smart on how do you use your credits and you know, which model you use, because some are more expensive than the others. And then finally, Synthesia. This is an AI avatar and voiceover platform. So as exactly as it sounds, you can create a video that has an AI model or AI avatar doing voiceover. Cool thing about this, you can also clone yourself from your image. You can also clone your voice as well. I know people who are making YouTube videos who are using their own avatar to do so. So they will create an avatar, and then right here at the bottom left or the bottom right as a talking head, it's their avatar talking, it's not them. And the video is going on behind them. And so one of the reasons why people are doing that is because they can focus on actually landing business while the video is being edited, created automatically, and they don't have to sit and actually do the video themselves. They can provide the AI avatar the script, and then they can go off and do something that makes them happier, allows them to use creativity, and focus on making more money. So, we're gonna test out some of these tools, and we're gonna create an ad and edit a video. Now, for time purposes, I'm gonna show you the videos I've already created and show you how they were created so that way you can leverage that for your own workflow, okay? So one of the things that I would recommend as far as how do you start is using this formula, okay? Use this formula to frame your idea, but I would practice using different prompting techniques, and I'm gonna talk about two of them right now, which one being conversational or natural language, and the other being JSON prompting. So, as we can see here, natural language is plugging your story idea into this conversational format, okay? So, dancer on a rooftop, golden hour, slow zoom, 6 seconds, right? Close up, teardrop on cheek, handheld, candlelit, 8 seconds. I'm using a natural way to prompt this model to generate this image or video. Whereas JSON prompting, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation, it is a lightweight, simple way to organize data using key value pairs or a list of labels in their values. So when you see subject, that's the key, and the value is Apple Product Showcase. The subject or setting is the key, and the value of setting is infinite white void. So key value pairs, okay? This is an easy way for AI to understand this format. And it's also a way to structure outputs because it follows a clear, consistent format, making it easy for the model to know exactly what each piece of information means and where it belongs, okay? So I am now going to jump to the internet here. I'm gonna first jump on FreePic. Let's change this window here. Okay. So this is FreePic. If I wanted to generate an image, I would simply go here, and I can describe an image or upload it in this box here. Remember when I said you could select a model? This is how I would do that here. So right now, we're letting FreePic auto pick which AI model is the best based off of this prompt. I can also go down to Seedream, Flux that Archetta mentioned, Google, ChatGPT, Runway, and what you're seeing next to these are the actual credit that it costs to generate an image using each of these models, okay? If I want, same thing, if I want to generate a video, come here. Now the cool thing is I could upload a start and ending image, which is pretty awesome. So when I start, I want this video, or I want this ball, right, this picture of this ball to morph into this person, right? And I could do that with the start and end image. If I wanted to go straight into just describing the video, I could do that here and look at that, select the model, and I could see the cost associated with each one. Now, FreePic does have a free model. You're not going to be able to really select very many models, though. You're going to need to go up probably to that paid tier. I would say, you know, if you're a small production team, I think the paid model obviously is going to be the best in most of these things, but what's more important, though, is finding your sweet spot after testing the free model, because you can rack up a hefty bill really quick trying all these tools, I'm telling you. So you definitely want to start with free first, and then once you find the right UX or the UI that you've gravitated to in the tool and you like the output, stick with that. So what I've done though is I've taken the JSON prompt and the natural language prompt from the slides and put them in here. And you can see, we're gonna look at the result of them. So this is the natural language prompt. Okay. Couple things I've noticed, and I don't know what the hell device that is, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's a tablet, I don't know if that's a phone, I really don't know what that is, right? But, you know, it looks good, okay? So if I go back, I did the same thing, I put it in there twice, and this was the second version. So this one's looking a little bit more clear, doesn't have any ports to input any cables or anything, but it looks like a phone, okay? So I used the natural language prompt for these two. But then, if we go to the JSON prompt, now I'm starting to see, oh, this is a phone. I got the camera back here. It looks more obvious what this device is. I can tell you, you're gonna get the best results leveraging the JSON prompt. Now, JSON prompt is sort of a programming language or format. Most of us in here are probably not programmers. So how do I create a JSON prompt? ChatGPT. So I'm going to take my natural language prompt and I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, I need you to create a JSON prompt using this here. Now, the best thing that you want to do, you always want to give a model context, okay? You want to give it context and you want to give it examples. This goes into another prompting format, but I'm not going to dive too much into that. What I will say is you give it the example of a JSON prompt, you give it your natural prompt, and then I say, hey, create this prompt, this natural language prompt, into this format. Here's an example. And then boom, at the end of it, you will get a JSON prompt that you can then copy and paste into here. And that's exactly what I did. I pasted that JSON prompt and it actually looks like a phone. Okay, so this is free pick. Download it. Right now, well, no, I would say download it. It's a web app, so it's a URL. I think they're making a desktop application pretty soon. So this is free pick. And I have these prompts, these JSON prompts of some ad concepts here that I would take and copy and paste it to there. So I'm gonna copy this one, this Tesla ad, JSON prompt, go back to free pick. And then what we're gonna do is let's generate a video. Paste that in there. Generate 700 credits, geez. All right, so that's going to cook. Oh, it's cooking a lot faster than I thought. So while that's going on though, what I am going to do is jump over to Descript. This is the other tool that I highly recommend. This is the audio and video editor, okay? Let's change this here. Okay, so this is Descript. You can already see I have some videos that I've edited here already. But Descript, this is the desktop application. They do have a web application as well. So you can go to descript.com, create an account, sign in, and use it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new project. And you could do, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to upload a file, a video file. And what this is going to do, you're going to edit this video using the video's transcript. Okay, so on the left panel, once this loads up, you're going to see the transcript of the entire video pop up. On the right, you see the actual video. Down at the bottom, you have your scenes. You can also see the audio WAV file of this as well. Now, let's see here. What is this? What's the error? We'll see what happens there. The cool thing that this is going to do is going to detect all the speakers that are in the video, and you can go ahead and configure, okay, speaker 1 is Everett, speaker 2 is Leela, speaker 3 is this. And we'll see, uh-oh, transcription failed. Let's do this. Let's go to one that I've already have done. So you can see here, this is the transcript of this video. And as I click through, it'll take me to where I am in the video. And the cool thing about this, so let's get into some of the tools. So AI tools here. I can edit for clarity. This here will remove filler words, digressions, blather. I can upgrade and make it sound like if this was recorded in the studio if I wanted to. Remove filler words, remove retakes, shorten word gaps. I can add chapters. I can update the eye contact if it was a head-on video. So many things. But this part right here, the repurpose section is really good. So this is where you can create clips of this video. So if I hit create clips, and I can specify how many clips do I want to create. So in this one, this is 14. I don't want to do that. Let's just bring that down to like 4 or something. And I can change the duration of each clip right here. So this right now is going to be 52 seconds. I'm going to shorten this down to 30-second clips. I could change the layout of the clips here. I can give it a topic if I want to. That's optional. I would say, to be honest with you, I've done it without it and didn't really need the topic sections. But let's just say I like this layout here. I like this one. And I'm going to hit submit. And now, Underlord, by the way, is the AI assistant that is built into Descript. But as you see here, it created 4 clips over here on the right. Okay, and it titled them, also gave the description as well. So I click on this, and now I can see, if I start playing, so it made this clip, 34-second clip, and I could choose to keep them or discard them and make new ones. So right here, the power of Descript is immense, and I highly recommend using it. There's another piece here. If I go, let's go back here. There is right here, this published piece. So I could create a blog from this video if I wanted to. I could create a YouTube description from this video, draft show notes. All of that is built within Descript. So for my final last demonstration, let's go back to free pick and see what that Tesla ad, what it created, and then I'll get out of everybody's hair. Let's change this here. So I copied and pasted that JSON prompt for Tesla, and let's see what it did. So right there, short 8-second clip, it created an ad for a Tesla car. And this is free pick and Descript. That's all my time.
Thank you. Thank you, Everett.